Stay with us. Loretta Lynn is here in 1960. Her debut single, Now I'm a Honky Tonky Girl, paved the way for a career filled with classic songs. Over the years, she has had 53 top 10 country singles and 16 #1 country albums. Her life story was immortalized in the Oscar-winning film based on her first memoir, Coal Miner's Daughter. Her new book, Still Woman Enough, chronicles the life since that film left off, and I am pleased to have her back at this table, anytime, anywhere, any place.
And I'm always pleased to get to see you, too.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
You've been looking good.
Well,
yeah.
You look great, too.
Yeah.
You don't, I told him he didn't need to lose no more weight.
No more weight.
No more weight.
Well, just keep looking after me, will you?
I will.
Now, after Coal Miner's Daughter, people have said, they can't get any better than this. The book was good. The movie was good. Right. You helped Sissy with her performance. I mean, that was his, and here you now come along.
With another book. But,
another
you know, so much has happened. I would have had this book out long before now. But I lost my son, you know.
Right.
And I didn't record for 10 years after that. I went back in and started recording again. And there's not too many people can say they take almost 20 years out of their career and still, you know, have people turn them away at the door, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And are you turning them away at the door?
Turning them away. Well, you know what? I do.
Turn them away. No more tickets, no more room. Loretta's on stage.
Did 2 shows, and I said, no more than 2 shows. I'm going to do 1. So the only thing I hate is that they put the price up higher. And I hate.
Why do you hate that?
Well, for my fans. You know, I love my fans.
Yeah, but they're, you know, they're putting it at a price that people will pay. You know, whatever the charge will bear, that's where they're going to put it.
Well, wherever they can. I sneak one in every now and then.
I'm sure you do.
I do.
Man, I love that shirt or blouse or whatever. I mean, that's great.
Thank you.
Look at that. So you decide there's more to tell. Some of the things you didn't tell the first time because your husband, he said, tell it all, but you said, I'm sensitive to him, so be good to him.
Yeah, he said, tell it all and don't you lie about anything. But there's very few things I can tell.
Yeah.
There's a few more things I've told. My little daughter says, I don't like you saying this about Daddy, Mama. I said, well, Daddy always told me tell the truth.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't let me tell it. And so she's over it now.
Yeah. So the film, after the film, what else did beyond the film itself? You just told me a wonderful thing about how you had to teach Sissy to sing.
Yes, because she always wanted to be a rock and roll singer.
Yeah.
And I would work 2 shows a night. And then I would work with Sissy the rest of the night, hanging the doggone music on the lampshades with clothespins, going in front, playing the guitar, and her behind me with the guitar. And that's what we did every night, almost for a year.
Yeah. You handpicked her for that reason.
I handpicked her, and then I'd never seen her before. Never seen her.
You just figured she was you.
I knew she had freckles, and I was freckled as I could be, and that was it. And Universal kept telling me, oh, we're putting these girls through some screen tests. I don't think Sissy was going to want to do it. And I kept telling them, give me the money. It's $5,000 for a screen test. Yeah. You believe that?
No.
And
but I know nothing about screen tests.
Well, she ended up doing the movie anyway.
Yeah, so your choice won.
Yeah, that's the only one I picked.
Yeah.
Now, I thought Tommy Lee was great. I think Tommy Lee should have gotten something.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. But Dew, right at first, was jealous of him. He was a little jealous. So right? he come to Vegas to see Dew when I was playing in Vegas. Yes. He walks in with hair dyed red like Dew, with a green sweater on like Dew had when we got married. He said, how you like my hair, buddy? Dew just kept looking at TV and said, yeah. A few minutes, he said, well, what about this sweater? You like this sweater? Yeah. He couldn't get nothing out of Dew. And this went on almost all through the movie until it's time for Dew to learn him how to do the bulldozer, drive the bulldozer, and the logging truck, and all this kind of stuff. So Tommy Lee figured he was going to have to do some of the stuff on his own. Sure. So he goes to Kentucky. While he's down in Kentucky, and they're filming some stuff down there, he gets out, gets moonshine, gets drunk in a Jeep, and the law picks him up, He resisted his arrest, and the law hits him over the head with one of these billy clubs. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
And they put him in jail. And Universal had to get him out of jail so he could go on with the movie. I said, he is playing Do, that's for sure.
Do died in 1996, 6 years ago, right?
Yeah.
This marriage was amazing.
Yes, it was.
I mean, you wrote about some of the problems. You wrote about the drinking. I mean,
love story, as far as I'm concerned.
Hard living, hard loving.
Yeah, that's right. It was a hard-lived love story. I felt real uncomfortable. I felt like it was my fault that he drank as much as he did, because I felt that if I wasn't making all this money, he couldn't drink as much as he was drinking, because used to he drank on the weekends. He drank his money up, but he couldn't drink mine up because I didn't have any. So, but it really worried me and I really felt guilty for a long time, but I'm kind of getting over that.
How long? You were there with him when he died?
Oh yeah,
but
I was with him 6 years. I didn't work.
You remember the last moment he looked up at you and sort of smiled with his eyes?
Yes, I fed him some watermelon. I said, baby, I'm going to give you a bite and I'll take a bite. And he finally, because he quit eating, you know, and he said, okay. And I thought he could see me, but I know he could see the outprint of me as I look back. I didn't know how good he could see me. But he ate a little bite of watermelon and I'd take a bite. And here come the nurses in, and my daughters had been in twice that day. But, you know, they never come around, so I didn't pay that much attention. I thought, well, maybe they're just coming around today. And so they come in, pull the catheter out, give him a LASIK shot after me feeding him watermelon. And then they had me go outside, one of the nurses did, had the nurse outside to tell me he was dying. Now, that was a bad deal, I think, because who would pull a catheter out before you give a LASIK shot? I'm not a nurse, but I wouldn't have.
I don't mean to dwell on the sadness, but it's so powerful in your life.
Yes.
Do was one thing, because you guys had a great life.
That's right.
For the ups and downs. It was a great life. You were partners.
That's right.
You loved each other. You understood each
we
other.
Loved each other.
You were in it for the good and the bad.
That's right.
But when Jack Benny died, man.
When Jack Benny died, you know.
Your son.
Yeah, I was in Champaign, Illinois. So don't ever think at the back of your mind you're not using it, because it's like a tape recorder, and it's taping and it knows everything that's going on. This is my opinion, because immediately when Jack drowned, I died 3 times.
You died 3 times?
I died 3 times with a seizure, and they brought me back. And it was the first time that this seizure doctor had ever stayed in a hospital over the time that he's supposed to stay, in the evening late. And we was running out of fuel right beside the hospital, and that's why we stopped there. And that's how, the only reason I'm here.
That had such a devastating effect on you that you were inconsolable for how long?
Oh, it was for a long time.
I mean, years.
Yes, and I didn't care about wanting to sing. I wasn't writing songs. I didn't even go and record for 10 years.
10 years you didn't go into the studio?
But when I did go back out on the road, why, the people just come right back like I'd never been off the road. And that was great. And they kind of helped me along with everything, because they were always funny with everything. And they would tell jokes and take things away from me that was bad, you know. So that was good.
They would do what?
They would tell me funny jokes.
But take the bad out?
Just try to take, and yeah, they'd tell me funny jokes to make me laugh, you know. Yeah.
Conway Twitty, your best friend.
Yes, just like a brother to me. We had been together in business together for 20 years.
Yeah. You toured together?
Uh-huh. And my husband loved Conway. Everybody would call.
He would have had to, because all the rumors were that you and Conway were shacking up.
Yes, and every time somebody would call and say they'd like to record with me, would say, she's got a singing partner.
Conway.
That's right. And he loved him, and Conway was coming to see Do.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll watch the road, honey. As I see him come off the exit, I'll go down and bring them up so they won't have to look for your room. He said, okay.
Do was in the hospital. Conway's coming to visit him.
In Springfield, Missouri. And I looked down, I seen him coming, So I run downstairs, and they come dragging Conway in.
Yeah.
And he died that night.
Had an aneurysm in his stomach,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
He bled to death in his stomach, internal
Yes.
bleeding.
Yes. Now,
Boy,
that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. We've lost a lot of friends. You know, not only have you
Tammy.
lost a lot of family people, you know, brothers.
Mm-hmm. Two brothers.
brothers.
One died 3 weeks before my husband did. One is 7 years younger than me. He died with pancreatitis cancer.
Yeah. Now, who in the music business is gone now that was close to you? Tammy. Tammy.
Tammy Wynette.
Yeah.
Crystal Gill called me and says,
Your sister.
my sister, she says, I call her Brenda a lot, and nobody knows what I'm talking about. So she said, Loretta, there's some police cars over at Tammy's. And I knew right then.
She'd gone.
I knew that something was wrong bad. And I started to cry. And I thought, I kind of turned numb. All this, you know, was turning me numb. And I won't go to a funeral. It's getting to be bad.
You don't go to funerals?
I haven't been one
For a while.
in a long time.
Waylon's gone?
Whelan's gone. He died the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Cash is not well.
Johnny's really not well.
No, he's not. And
Who's the greatest of all you've known? The greatest.
well, who could ever
Exclude
beat?
yourself.
Who could ever beat Georgie Jones? Who could ever? He recorded a song. Who's going to fill his shoes? Every time I see him, I jump him.
You what?
I jump onto him.
Jump on him.
I said, why did you sing that song, George? Nobody could ever fill your shoes. And I can see other people's shoes being filled, but not yours.
Yeah.
And he gets mad at me every time I jump him. But
What does he have? Why is he the best?
he has soul. He has exactly what, if you like country music, you're going to like George Jones. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Now, what about the young crowd? You like any of them?
I like Brad Paisley.
Paisley?
Brad Paisley. Right. He's good. And I like Martina McBride.
Right.
And I love Tricia Airwood. She's not country, but she's a great singer. And Garth Brooks. I like a lot of them.
Garth?
Mm-hmm. I love Garth. He's great. He's a great person. All-around person, I think. You know, you kind of have to put an artist into a all-around thing.
Put them into a context, yeah. What kind of people they are.
What kind of people they are. Because sometimes they can be a good singer and be like the Dickens outside.
Now, who are we talking about when we talk about that?
Well, George is pretty bad now. He can be pretty bad.
He was.
Yeah. When we first started singing, he'd been singing a long time before I had, but Dew and I and him was traveling together. Dew was driving, and me and George was in the back seat. George was drinking, and I would sing and play the guitar, and he would cry.
He would cry?
Yeah. And George would take the guitar and play and sing, and then I'd cry. Finally,
Why would you cry? Because of what the song was about?
Because it was so sad. And Dew just stopped the car and threw us both out. Put us out. Both of us.
Just stop it.
Yeah.
Just
put us
shut up.
out, and about 30 minutes he come back by and picked us up.
That's great.
It's awful.
Yeah, they all like George, and all the guys like George. I mean, Dew. They like Dew.
They do. Yeah.
All the guys like Dew.
Yeah.
Because he was Dew.
Yeah, he was Dew.
He was real, and he had soul, and he knew who he was, and
that's right.
He could handle it.
He didn't like going to the White House because he didn't like wearing no tie. He didn't like to dress up. He figured if he could wear jeans at home, he could wear them anywhere.
Who among the women, other than Patsy, who was your sort of idol, who you like? Tammy, obviously you liked because you cared about her.
Tammy, when she come to town, I loved her singing. We didn't get together a whole lot because she was busy running from one guy to the other. She said she should have had my songs, and I should have had hers. So
why is that?
Well, her songs was "Stand by Your Man."
Yeah, right.
And here I am knocking them out. Don't come home with drinking, you know. So we got a big bang out of that.
Yeah. Now, have you written any songs for yourself?
Oh, sure. For this new album, "Still Woman Enough."
Still, in other words, it'll be just like the book. An album just like the book.
Yeah, I've got the song already wrote.
Yeah. Now, how much are you going to tour?
I think there's 60 days I'm touring, but I've got so many other things that I've got to do this year. Now, I'm not going to do that next year.
You're going to take it easy next year?
I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to come back and see you.
You're welcome to come back and see me. Now, were you going to tell me about all these love affairs you had or not?
Which ones?
I just want you to tell
No,
me.
I had one. I'll tell you one about me and Conway.
All right.
Okay, we got stopped at, in our buses was snowed in Indianapolis. Yeah. I'm bashful, and so is Conway. Yeah. And so we found each other's weaknesses, and we gouged them. We gouged each other, and we brought out the best in each other on that. So Conway, he was real bashful, and this guy come through the line. I said, now, Conway, if you're going to work with me, you have to sign autographs, because I sign autographs. Okay. Rock and roll don't sign autographs. And so he's sitting there signing autographs, and this guy comes through the line, and he stopped, and he wouldn't go on. He kept saying, this was in Wisconsin. He said, Loretta, are you and Conway married? Well, I didn't say a word. Well, tell me, do you all live together? This went on for 5 minutes. This guy would not shut up. And I said, no, we're just shacked up. About that time, I said that he flipped his pencil over his head and took off. Quit signing autographs, got mad at me, called Due.
He did?
Yeah.
Called Due and said, you know what Loretta said,
yes.
Your wife said?
Yes. He called Due.
So what did Due say?
Well, when I got home,
What happened when you got home?
When I got home, Doolittle told me, said, don't you have any more sense than that? I said, well, didn't that guy have any more? I said, he shouldn't have sat there for 5 minutes and asked a question like that. He should have known better. And we quarreled about it a little bit, but what didn't.
But Due just basically, I mean, that was a smart thing to say. Due said, aren't you smarter than this? What are you doing?
Yeah, he thought I was smarter than that, but I thought it was a good way to get Conway. And another time I got him on stage, I had this, it was hot pants with the top together, and it was hooked together, and then it had
hot pants.
Yeah, and it was skirt, and it had Velcro on the skirt. Well, Conway thought it was a long gown. So we had this song out called Lead Me On. So he just was singing his heart out. And then when it come my line, I was supposed to walk up to the mic and say, lead me on. I just took that skirt and slung it across the stage, and I thought he was going to pass out. He turned every color in the book. He couldn't sing. I had to get the skirt and put it back on.
Before he could sing.
He couldn't sing. He wouldn't sing. That was pretty bad.
It's great to see you.
Well, it's good to see you again.
Loretta Lynn, written with Patsy Bale Cox, Still Woman Enough. She's on the road 60 nights a year. It's always good to have you here.
Well, it's nice to see you. I watch you every chance I do. I can get. I watch you.
Thank you. Loretta Lynn, thank you for joining us. See you next time.